Test, 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 test. What's up? 2 days in a row, I got a microphone in my face. How you guys doing today? Hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, then please send me a shout. I don't have my technical advisor here today, so he's not going to be helping me. We're just going to wait a little bit and let some people jump in. If you look in the description, If you look in the description, this is more for a Reddit AMA, so I need to add that link in there. So give me a quick sec. Just need to add this in. I posted the wrong link. Let's see. Oh shit, I need to delete this. All right, I found it. So if you guys click in the description of the live stream video, there's a link to the Reddit AMA. Like I said in the description, the live chat on this is going to be pretty quiet. It's only for the people who have joined the channel, but the AMA that Ask Me Anything is open to everybody. Just head on over to that Reddit link, and that's where I'm going to be answering the questions if you're not a member. Yo. Well, while the chat opens up, it's only been a minute. I'm going to go ahead and open the chat back up. Did you guys join yesterday for the Terry Barron's, the TV show, where I interviewed myself? It was more of like a quick talk about me growing up and how I got into cycling, and then we just sat back and kind of watched old videos that I had made in the past, and also other people's videos, some friends of mine. I don't know, I like the format. I don't know how it was for you guys, but it was cool to be able to go from like talking to you to posting a video and sharing it that way, like live. It felt like we were kind of hanging out a little bit. So I think in the future, I mentioned this yesterday, that you guys could send me videos that you like and I could play them back, kind of like a request, that kind of thing. Or like if you made a video or you have a project that you worked on for a while on your channel or whatnot, we can check out your work as well. So that would be cool. This Reddit AMA thing, I've never done it before. So it's interesting. I'm used to this live YouTube live where it's like instant, and Reddit is a little slower. So we got some questions coming in here um, from Reddit. The first question that I got is from Obi Greens, and they're asking which hotline was my favorite and why. Um, that one's hard because I've been doing, these hotlines for um, a little over maybe 3 years now. It's going on 3 years, and I've done them in different cities and countries. So every every hotline is a little different, and because of the city, because of the rider, because of the weather and the traffic, time of day, and all that. So there's a lot of variables. I I have a few favorites. I really like I like riding in Japan a lot. So um, the hotline with Marco was pretty memorable. It was kind of recent. Um, we did some riding at night and during the day on two different bikes. One was like a normal uh, fixed gear, and the other one was more of like a fixed gear freestyle. It had pegs and stuff on it, so it was cool to do like a multi bike edit day and night. That was cool. Got to give it up to one of the first hotlines I did with Cooper Ray. Just the way Cooper flows through traffic is just fun to follow. He rides uh, similar to me in a way, or maybe I've grown to ride more like him from following him. But the way that he flows around, and he doesn't really, it's not jarring, it's very smooth. He's not like, he could ride his bike a lot faster, but he rides at a speed that's faster than traffic, but not too fast where he's going to run into red lights and things. So he knows kind of the flow of the traffic lights, kind of like what we call like riding the wave. Um, he understands that, so it's cool to to film that, and obviously that video is memorable because it did pretty well with everybody. It was on World Star at one point. And then Safa's hotline is this might be answering other questions, but Safa's hotline in Mexico City, both videos. There's another one called Safa Tries to Kill Me. Those two videos are crazy memorable because he's an animal on his bike. Um, Riding in Mexico City is already interesting and dangerous in its own way. Fun, but maybe not as dangerous as New York. It's probably all the same. It's just different. So following him and his lines, he had this really epic hotline picked out that he wanted to do. He like routed it all out, and it was the longest hotline I had filmed to date. So it was a little over the top, and I wasn't expecting it to be so long and grueling. Like, I was out of energy. You can tell by the video where he's just dropping me towards the end. Also, my bars were super wide. Cutting through traffic was very sketchy for me. So I know not to film on that gravel bike again. And then filming in Jakarta with Arvi was really cool. That was a couple years back. Just the way the traffic is there, it's super dense, and but there's like a hierarchy for cyclists, pedestrians, cars, and scooters. Pedestrians are at the top, like they're never at fault if there's an incident. And then right under pedestrians, it's cyclists, and then it's scooters, and then cars are at the very bottom. So if a car hits anything, it's usually the car's fault. That's just how it works there. So everyone gives you lots of room, even though there's not a lot of room. you get a lot of room from cars. The only thing that comes close is scooters, but they still like kind of give you space. So I don't know. It was a very interesting place to ride. Let me refresh this. Yeah, that was a long-winded answer, right? Let me see. Let me see. I gotta change this. Word. Again, to the new guys, people, guys and girls who have joined the YouTube stream who are trying to chat in the live chat, you got to go over to the Reddit AMA to post your questions there. The link is in the description, or you just join my channel and you can speak in the live chat. This is for people who have joined. Other than that, I'm still going to answer your question. Just go over to Reddit and post it there. There's a link in the description. Let's see. Malinguer. They want to know when I'm coming to Minneapolis. And then someone also recommented on that and said they could use the rep over there. I don't know. I mean, Super Bowl is a heavy event. I've seen footage. I've never attended. I would love to attend. It's just I haven't. I was in talks with some guys over there about going out there, but we haven't chatted really since. I don't know what's going on with that. I would love to get out there. There's a few things that are, as far as Super Bowl is concerned, is technically going to be hard. And I have the same kind of, not gripes, but like issues with Monster Truck is that when I go and film everything I've seen from Super Bowl, it's usually already super dark. And cameras, unfortunately, don't work without light. So you need some light. And I don't know if it's just because of when people film, they just film towards the end or whatnot. But it just seems like it's already pretty dark there when they start that race. So that's a challenge and a hurdle. And on top of that, obviously, the cold and the snow. And, I would definitely want to go out there and like help push that event. It seems like it's already got a lot of people who come out. I know people from New York and Philly go out there for that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can come out when it warms up. I know there's a lot of riding out there, so the statement is asking, when are you going to release the full Hotline song? It slaps. Someone else said they found it, but I only turned up with this new outro song. Let me see, what is this link? That's not it. I've had a lot of questions about the Hotline intro. Honestly, people have posted it in the past. It's from a cell phone commercial, and I think it only ran in like Australia and South Africa. So it's on YouTube, and it's something that was made like a commercial, like someone made a jingle. So all I did was took a piece of that jingle and kind of cut it up a little bit. I used some of the graphics as well and just mashed that together and made that out of it. So it's tricky with YouTube when you're sampling music and assets like that, because there's a potential for your account to get flagged and maybe get a strike against it. So it's hopefully it never gets flagged, but if it that would be a way that it would be terrible. All the hotline intros would have to be removed. So it's in the Ericsson cell phone ad. Atomic Llama. Atomic Llama is asking, they're a long time viewer but first time questioner. They're wondering, have I ever got tickets or jammed up from the law on my bike? Yeah, let me see. Actually, can I edit this post? I don't think I can. Oh, I can. Okay. I'm going to drop this live stream in Reddit. I don't know if that's against the rules, but it'd probably be cool to watch this stuff kind of live if you guys are around. I'm also going to go back and type this out on Reddit, but I just figured I would do it like this, and then this will give people, once I'm done doing this live stream, I can go back on Reddit and type everything out as well. I was told that this process takes a little bit, so. Yeah, so have I ever got tickets or jammed up from the law on my bike? I guess I can start with, I can go all the way back. When I used to, when I was younger and I rode BMX, in California, they made a law before I was 18. Maybe I was only like 14 or 15 at the time. All of a sudden, a law changed, and if you were under 18, you had to wear a helmet on your bicycle anywhere you go. And at the time, I was younger, so first of all, I didn't own a helmet. I didn't have money for a helmet. Like, I didn't grow up in a setting where we had a lot of expendable income. So I didn't have stuff like that. And I don't think it was even in my parents' mind or even in anyone's mind to wear a helmet at the time. No one was really wearing a helmet. The only time I wore a helmet was when I went and raced at the track, race BMX, and I would always borrow a helmet from the track, and they always smelled gross. Anyways, so when we would be riding our bikes around to go to there was a couple different trails and jumps like across town, or we're just being kids riding around. I got pulled over by motorcycle cops all the time as a kid. I must have racked up like 13, 14 helmet tickets one summer. I remember being young and being like, fuck the police. And it just came, I was like, why are they harassing me? I'm just like a juvenile, like riding my bike. I don't understand. And it wasn't like we were sessioning spots, like skate spots or anything like that. I didn't do that on my bike at the time. We were just riding around to go to trails and jumps. So that's when I first started getting tickets. When I turned 18, all those tickets just disappeared. So that was cool. I didn't pay for any of them. And then I didn't get another bike ticket until many years later. I was already living in San Francisco at the time, and I got a ticket I was about to get a ticket. I got stopped for running a light on Market Street, and the cop was a foot cop, so he saw me. And he like pulled me over, and I was like, yo. So I pulled over. I could have ran. And he was like talking to me, and I was being just pretty chill, just like, yeah, it's all good, blah, 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 whatever, do your thing. And he was like, oh, you're being cool, you know what? He like wrote the ticket, and then he marked the top, and he was like, He's like, just don't do it again. I'm not going to turn this in. He like put a little X on top of the ticket, and the ticket never came in the mail or anything. So that was cool. And then I moved to New York, and I got 2 tickets in the same week. And I haven't had a ticket since, but oh, never mind. Yeah, I got 2 tickets. One for going on the Williamsburg Bridge, coming off of it, and I was in the bike, going onto it. I was in the bike lane, and when I first moved here, New York has all this weird. They're trying to work out the bike lane thing. It's since then been fixed, but from Williamsburg, you would take a left, and the bike lane used to go up onto the sidewalk. So I don't ride on the sidewalk, so I took a left, and it goes into one-way traffic coming this way, but it goes straight to the bridge. It's like a quarter of a block. And I got stopped for going the wrong way on a one-way because there was no bike lane there. So I was like arguing with the cop. Well, being gently arguing, like, yo, I'm from California. Like, I just moved here. Like, where am I supposed to ride then? Like, the bike lane goes straight. The bridge is here. So I took a left to go to the bridge. And they're like, you got to ride on the sidewalk. And I looked down, and you can see like a faint green that used to be like on the little ramp up from the street to the sidewalk. It had been all eroded away, and like I was like, this is ridiculous. So I just ate the ticket. I paid it. I think it was only like $50, and that's what you call like the New York City cycling tax. So I just figured, you got to pay it maybe once a year or something. And then I got a ticket a couple days later. And the cop stopped me actually really close to where I'm at right now. And they were just like, it was like a van. And I got pulled over, and I was like, what's the deal? And they're like, you ran that stop light over there. And I was like, what stop light? Because I knew I didn't run anything. He's like, the one over there. And I was like, which one? He's like, the one back there. Like, got all snappy with me. I was like, all right, whatever. I didn't run that light. I think he got the wrong person or something. Because there was no stoplights from where I was riding. So I just ate that ticket too. And then recently we were riding in Prospect Park. This was like last year or maybe a year and a half ago. And the police at the park, it was like a 25-degree day. No one's in the park. And we're riding the trails. And we pop up on the road, and we're crossing the street to go back into the trail. So we did ride Prospect Park. There's a loop that goes counterclockwise. And so we went against, the normal path of flow of traffic. So we went against traffic, but it was really only to cross the street and get back on the trails. And this cop drove up to us and was like, hey, you guys are going the wrong way. And we're like, oh, sorry. And we kept riding, and he's like, no, stop your bikes. And he like got out, and it was like cold, and we were like kind of angry that he stopped us because no one was at the park. It's like he had nothing to do. He's just fucking with us. So he wrote us the tickets or whatever. And then I went to check the ticket when I got it in the mail, and he wrote me down for the wrong infraction, and I looked it up, and it said that I cut down a tree in the park. So I had to go fight that one, because instead of being $50 or whatever it normally is, it was I think it was $650. So I fought that one, and we all won that one anyway. So other than those times, no, haven't been stopped by the police. I find in New York, if for the most part, if you're kind of not disrupting traffic, and I know it's hard, it sounds really stupid to say that, but like, as long as you're not stopping cars and like pedestrians, you're not making them stop for you, then it's all good. Like, that's kind of how New York operates. Like, let everyone be about their business and not stop the flow, and you won't really get messed with. You guys have heard my rants about the bike lane and stuff, so I'm not going to really get into that, but you know what I mean. New York is full of gray areas. All right, Next question. Dying in Library Land asked me, which were you interested in first, filming or bike culture? Did one lead you to the other? Um, yeah. Um, Let me go back. Sorry. What led me into filming first? I rode bikes first, but what got me into filming wasn't bikes. I originally started filming through skateboarding, and that's kind of what opened my eye to filming. I had I don't remember the model, but it was a really like a little handy cam Sony, and it was already old at the time when I got it. Um, I got it for my Christmas and birthday together, and it was a it recorded to tape, um, and I didn't know how to edit or anything. I didn't even have I didn't get a computer until I was much right out of right out of high school. I left my house. It was like a couple months before I got out of high school that we got a computer in our house. So like editing and that kind of thing, I didn't know anything about it. So we would just film us skating. Like we would film skating in the town I grew up in, or we would take lots of day trips to San Francisco and Sacramento and film. And I just had these tapes full of footage that was never edited. I wish I still had them. They're all gone, but like we would just plug in the RCA cables into a TV and just play it back and watch it. Like that was filmmaking for me in those days. And then later, once I started getting into film photography, that led me into shooting video more. I just, I think as I was shooting stills, that's when I started to develop like a different eye for things and start to understand more technical things. And then at the same time, I was in college and I started taking some editing classes, and then two and two started to work together. And then I understood how, what I can do, bringing the computer and editing software into it. So I started shooting with this little Kodak PlaySport camera. It was like right before the iPhone came out, or before I had an iPhone anyways. So it was waterproof and it shot 720. I think it was interlaced. It was just it had a little screen on one side and it was like a brick. And I made little edits with that thing. I actually talked about a little bit of this yesterday. So it was bikes got me into skateboarding. Skateboard got me into filmmaking. And then when I got heavier into bikes when I got older, I, that all kind of meshed together into one thing. Let me see. Rapalasaur. Love your hotline vids and proudly support you on my bike and your YouTube channel. Which hotline vid or vid you worked on in general has been your favorite and what made it memorable? I'm sorry, Rapalasaur. We answered this a little bit ago. I'm gonna skip this for the live, but I'll respond to you in the Reddit. Jehu920 is asking, will you ever come ride in Montreal? I've been to Montreal once without a bike, and it was in the winter. It was really cold, but it was a beautiful city. And I can see that there's a lot of bike infrastructure there. I really want to go back. I know that you guys hold some events out there. I was in touch with a guy who does like a crit out there for a while, but we both, oh yeah, I think we were trying to plan something to get me out there, but it hadn't come to fruition yet. So I don't know, maybe this spring or summer. I'm always down to travel. What's your sketchiest? Oh yeah, sorry. IXZQU wants to know the sketchiest situation you have been in while filming a hotline. Well, I talked about it earlier a little bit. The Safa video was pretty sketchy, going head on with semi trucks in the wrong direction. I don't recommend that kind of riding to anybody, especially on a brakeless track bike. Uh, I had brakes, but it was very intimidating to do. Um, I'm happy I'm still here. Another sketchy situation that I haven't really talked about is when I filmed with Mario down Second Ave when Wonka jumped into the mix and saw that we were both filming. I was filming Mario. He saw that we were riding, and he rode out in front of us and like got in the shot and started playing in traffic a little bit, and then he almost got hit by a car. That was sketchy. We knew he was okay when we looked back. He was getting up, so it was fine. But like, that was all wasn't choreographed. That's what really happened, and it could have been worse. So happy that it wasn't. Let's see. Oh, we got some more here. All right, so Adam is here. Adam is a fan. Welcome, dude. Thank you. You're not. I know you in real life, man. Now you have to come and stay on my air mattress again. Adam is in the live chat over on YouTube, and he just joined the chat. Yo, I'm down with the Hotline Skateboard Edition. I know a couple guys out here who can push pretty fast in the streets. I had talked about it, doing it with somebody. It hadn't worked yet, but that's a great motivation to get back on that project. I just think it would be cool to like smash through the streets, pushing really fast, and then like hit a spot along the way and like session it a couple things, like show a couple tricks on it, and then back to fucking smashing through traffic again. Visually, I think that would be pretty entertaining. So thanks for that, Adam. How's London, by the way? How's the mess life, Adam? Let us know. Let's see. Back over at Reddit. Oh. Buns Glazing 86 wants to know, what kind of locks do I use? Let me see. Well, I use a Hotline U-lock, as you can see. No, I think this is an Abus, one of their cheaper ones. I like these ones. I know they're not as strong as the Kryptonites, because they have two like mechanisms. The Kryptonite has like a folding, like a bent arm that goes in, and then you pop it in. But I usually lock up with two locks, and I use this one to go through my frame, through my wheel, and whatever I'm locking up to. And then I use the Kryptonite through my frame, through my front wheel. I'm a fan of making things look more secure than they are. I just feel like if I was a bike thief and I saw a bike with two U-locks on it, I would pass it up for the bike that only had one. You know what I mean? So I haven't had too many issues with bike thieves, although I try to only lock, my daily bike up outside, and I usually don't leave it out for hours at a time. In the past, I've had a seat and seat post stolen before. That's kind of a bummer, but it happens. There's shitheads out there that do that stuff, so you can protect it with, those, what are they called? Pit bull locks or whatever, the little locking seat post collars and stem bolts and all that stuff, but um, I don't know. Let me see. Tintores01. How wide are your current flat bars? And do you have limits for that width, or do you just get used to it no matter how short or wide? Um, I think my old flat bars were 640 or 660 millimeters wide, slightly wider than my shoulders. The new Thompson bars that I just put on my Low Pro, I intentionally cut them shorter just to see how it would feel riding around, because I've had wide bars for a while, so just thought I would give it a try. So far, it's good. It's just I've been so used to wide bars that um, the little more narrow bars just doesn't feel quite the same. I like having wider bars for climbing. I find it useful for leverage when you're using your arms to kind of like help pull the bike back and forth when you're climbing. So you lose a little bit of that, but I guess I'm a little more confident between cars now. Um, Other than that, I'm still a big guy. I have wide shoulders, so there's some gaps I'm not going to make it through. Um, Jehu 920. He wants to know how I got started in filmmaking. What films have inspired your work with a hotline or otherwise? I kind of talked about how I got into filming earlier. It was a combination of um, skateboarding, making little skate films, being inspired and influenced by skate videos. Alien Workshop and Transworld are very memorable. Just the way that those were put together, I always really appreciated the more artsy videos like that. Also, they always had really good music choice, I thought. So those are good videos. If you guys are interested or you don't know what I'm talking about, look into it. Old Transworld and older Alien Workshop. Unfortunately, they don't skate videos aren't even really a thing anymore. People still make skate videos, but for the most part, things are published online through like Thrasher or Transworld or something, and they don't have the same thing because now we all, have Instagram, and everyone is getting better at editing their own stuff and making their own things, which I think is great. That's kind of what this whole YouTube thing is for me as well. So those are the films that have inspired my work, and yeah, and then the hotline, the inspiration for hotline was more about kind of a test. Like I was just doing camera tests, and as things progressed, once I found the camera angle I liked, I was like, well, how can I make this better? Then I started investing my time in experimenting with trying to make the most out of the GoPro, trying to figure out how to make the GoPro the best. So Um, that that's where that came from. Let's see. Is there anything else here on Reddit? Um, ah, Tintoras01 is asking if I've ever thought about coming to Bogota, Colombia. There's a huge fixed gear scene here. I think the Messenger Worlds are going to be there this year, and also there's the Rad Race I've heard so much about. Um, I have been to Bogota for work without a bike, but I have never ridden there. So I've been there, and I know it is a huge. It already has a cycling kind of ingrown in the culture with those like Sunday streets that you guys do there. They like lock down the streets. I think there's a lot of cities that do this now, but they at the time I had never seen it. I was really impressed. It was the whole city center, just all the roads are closed down to cars, and people are walking, and a lot of it's for riding bikes, and a lot of bike riding going on. And there's like little vendors that pop up on the sides, and you can, there's like little mechanics and spots to grab food and drink and stuff. It's a cool idea. So I have thought about coming back with a bike. I've kind of thought about going there for these events coming up, but um, I haven't made any plans yet. But I would love to. Stin is asking if I ever hit Scott Valley dirt jumps in Mill Valley. Scott Valley dirt jumps. No. I'm gonna look into that. I need to write that down. Let me just type it here. No, I didn't know about that. I've been to Scott Valley. I've been, I'm trying to think of the name of the trails. There's like what is it called? There's like a pump track. It's like a cross country mountain bike spot right outside Fairfax, right up in the hills there. We used to ride there, you know, a lot when I first got my mountain bike. I haven't been to those dirt jumps though. I'll look into it. Charleston Wrecker. In your hotline videos, how do you manage to fit between cars with your absolutely massive balls? I don't I don't I try not to think about it. uh a lot of the process process before I go and film somebody, like I'm putting a lot of trust in them that I I'm usually pretty confident that they're a good, confident writer. Um, that's kind of how it works for me. I don't want to just film with anybody and everybody, so I just want to make sure, before we take off, that they know that they're writing in a way and I'm following them to not, they don't need to spice it up and do anything extra just because I'm filming them. I just want them to ride normally and give the viewers like yourself an idea of what it feels like to ride in that city. That's my main point with these. And then the second point is to see how that rider rides there. I like to show off the city to people first. I think that's the most important thing, because if you've ridden your bike in different places, you understand that one town next to another town, like the way you interact with the environment on a bike can be totally different. I know that for a fact here. You know, you ride your bike in Queens compared to riding your bike in Manhattan. Uh, the way you interact is different because the structure of the streets are different. The cars drive faster in Queens because there's more room and more highways and expressways, and there's less cyclists. And so, why am I talking about this? I don't know. I went on a tangent, but uh, I'm just, putting a lot of trust in the person in front of me. So if they make it through, then, hopefully I can make it through. I'm going to cut over to the YouTube live stream. Pablo V, appreciate you, man. He's saying, hey, hi, Terry. I really liked El Bongacero. Are you going to upload more of your work as a DP? Yeah, I mean, I have a Vimeo page that has a little bit of things that I've worked on for clients. The issue with that is I'm working for a client, so I don't always have. I can put it on, like Vimeo as like a reel or like a something I worked on, but putting it on YouTube sometimes can be an issue because I don't necessarily own the rights to that thing that I shot. And B-Side Fighter, El Bongacero is like something that we do own the rights to because we did that on our free time. There was no client. So I guess, if I was to do more long-term or polished work like that, of course, I would totally put it on YouTube. I appreciate you guys for watching it. So thanks, Pablo, for the question. Mike McKenna, he's asking, is there a program that you suggest for a beginner editing their videos? Yeah, I mean, if you don't have access to Premiere or anything in the Adobe suite, first of all, I would say I would recommend Premiere if you can pay for it. It's a monthly subscription. That's what I would do. It's going to give you access to everything else Adobe makes. So you can, you can learn a little bit about motion graphics and Photoshop and Illustrator and throw in graphics and stuff if you're into that. And it all works seamlessly together. So it's really nice. And if you can't, if you can't make that happen, then if you're on a Mac, I can only speak about a Mac. I don't know about the software on the PC side. But if you're on a Mac, you can just use iMovie. That's what I would do. The first couple videos that I uploaded to the internet were cut on iMovie. So I'm a fan of just kind of using what you have, and then obviously upgrade when you have the extra funds or the the ability to do that. But just use what you got, man. So even if you're filming on your phone, if that's your only camera, like you can make that work. Like some of my favorite edits that I do for myself are just these iPhone dumps. They're just like little visual diaries of like how the last couple weeks, what I've been doing the last couple weeks with myself. So, yeah, use what you got. And then Mike McKenna is also saying, if you've ever been to Northern Florida, check out Santos mountain bike trails. Here, I'll write that down. What part of Northern Florida? Santos MTB. Cool. I've been to Pensacola. Oops. No. A while ago. But not with a bike. Uh-oh. What am I doing here? Adam, I think I just accidentally hid your, wait, remove. No, 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 no. Oh, there we go. Sorry, Adam, I accidentally hid your comments for a second. You're on timeout. Um, Adam's gonna be in New York from February through May. What? That's a long time, dude. Any riding spots you would recommend? From February to March, it's gonna be cold, man. It depends on what kind of bike. If you're gonna bring your brothers, and it has dirt tires on it, I would definitely check out Cunningham. I would check out obviously the Prospect Park trails. Um, I've been trying to do Tuesday night trail rides. We did one last night. There was four of us who went out. It was 22 degrees last night, but if you dress, I was just in like winter cycling like spandex, and I just wore like regular pants and a windbreaker over that, and I was good. As long as you're moving, it was fine. So I would recommend bring some lights, get some night riders. If you guys are into night trail riding, night ride, yes, bring a gravel bike. Sick. So once you get some here, let me look them up for you. If you don't know what night riders are, Night Rider Lumina. There's some of these are way too bright. Yeah. There's the minis now too. They're they're about $50. I think you can get cheaper ones. Let me see. Yeah, there's the mini right there. They have minis now that are sweet. There's an 850 lumen one. Here, let me throw it in here. Check out that link. Uh-oh, there's too many. God damn. It's too big. The link is too big. There we go. Check that link out. Get some lights, man. Like some real trail lights, and because since it gets darker earlier here, right now, there's a lot of good night riding, and also Glacier Ridge is a good spot. I'm stoked you're coming, dude. That's sick. Hit me up when you get here. Um, Let me see. Let me go back to the Reddit and check this out. Let's see. Let's see. What country city that you've ridden in has felt the sketchiest? I think I kind of already went over that. Mexico City and was probably uh, the sketchiest, only because like the routes we took were pretty sketchy. um, Next question is, what is your opinion on Lucas Brunel's writing and video shooting style? Um, Lucas is the OG, man. You know, he was one of the. I wouldn't. I can't. We can't give him credit saying he's the first person to put a camera on his helmet and film, but he's the first person to do it well and to document racing well. Uh, and he's the OG, man. Um, his current work, I like his sketching and like his Florida style writing. It's pretty good. I like that he interacts with drivers and other people, and he like gets their responses, and he also like responds to the camera himself. I think it's cool. And I'm, looking forward to him growing that YouTube channel. Um, if you guys don't know, he's been pushing his YouTube channel pretty hard, so you guys got to check that out. Next question. Hey Terry, thank you for doing this. I saw your Mexico City video and I was amazed at the speed you were able to move through. I have never seen anything move that fast through Santa Fe streets and bridges. Did Safa tell you about the route pre-shoot? Did you have a couple practice runs or were you totally new to it? Oh, that's a great question. Safa told me, so I did 2 videos with Safa. I did one where Safa was on a road bike, and then I did one, the hotline, where he was on a track bike. So the run through Santa Fe, that Safa tried to kill me. And that was him just, he talked about Santa Fe. He was just like, oh yeah, it's cool. It's like, we'll like start up here and drop down and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you don't really understand until you do it. I'd never been there before. Both of those videos, that was my first run through any of that. As we rode towards Santa Fe, he like was like, yeah, you're gonna be going down over here and blah blah blah. So yeah, I was totally new to all of that, and that's that's what happened. The video is the one run that we did on both. Coco Fix is asking about any plans to do another shoot with Safa in LA. I haven't talked about shooting with him. Safa's working on his own video series that's cycling related, similar point of view. And it's called Descent Disciples. If you guys haven't seen it, it's crazy road bike descents, and it's sweet, man. It's super fast and very technical. There's a lot of mountains up there, so it's cool to see him getting into his own thing. I have plans to go to LA this year, but I'm gonna be riding mountain bikes most of the time, so I don't know. Maybe we can meet up. I gotta talk to him. Let's see. Next couple questions. Third person first. Has your career focus always been on photo and cinematography, or was there a time when you were on a different path? Also, how old were you when your passion for filming became viable to sustain you financially? Did you ever have side jobs, and what were they? Some good questions here. Well, my first, I guess I can start once I'm out of high school. I mean, I had a bunch of teenage jobs growing up. I worked in the food industry. I did Taco Bell was my first job. And then I worked in restaurants for a while until I left the town I grew up in, and I joined the Air Force for 6 years to get out of the town and then also to get money for college. So I did that, and I did a thing called electronic warfare. So I learned a lot about troubleshooting electronic systems, mostly for like counter it's like a countermeasure so the planes don't get shot down by other planes and missiles from the ground and also artillery guns from the ground. It's kind of like a radar jamming thing for F-16s and A-10s. So that path led me. I had to score. We had to take this test called the ASVAB, and somehow I scored like decent in electronics, even though I didn't have any kind of electronics background at all, which that was kind of weird and surprising to me. So I went that way, and then I actually really enjoyed troubleshooting this equipment and like figuring it out. Like we had, you had to do like measure, all the way down to the component level times and replace things on these cards, on this piece of equipment. So I just really liked that. It was like a puzzle, trying to figure out why something didn't work. Most of the time it was pretty simple, but sometimes pieces of equipment would sit for weeks and it would be like 24-hour, 3 shifts a day trying to figure out what's going on with this thing. Anyways, yeah, so that led me, long-winded explanation, that led me into going to school. And when I first started college, I went into advertising because I didn't quite know what I didn't quite know what it was called, what I was into. I started getting into like building computers when I was younger, and then I got into the software side of things. So I learned like a bunch of Adobe programs on my own, and I didn't really know them. Like I didn't even know what a layer was in Photoshop, but I was doing all these photo manipulations and alterations at the time. I even ended up buying a little point and shoot digital camera at that time. And it's embarrassing to look back at these images. I still have them on a hard drive, but I would take selfies to manipulate the image to learn more about Photoshop because I didn't know who else to shoot. It was just me. Like, occasionally I would alter, photos of friends in the military or like supervisors to kind of make fun of them a little bit, but all that stuff is really embarrassing to look at now. But I think it gave me the foundation to go the path I did. So when I got out of the military and went to college, I went into advertising, and like a few months into it, I realized I was in the wrong program. I realized that I wanted to do the work. I wanted to get hands-on and actually make the things and learn about the programs and actually do the things rather than just come up with the ideas and have someone else do them. So I left advertising and went into a program called New Media. And when I did that, I talked about this earlier, I got into shooting video and doing stills and stuff throughout this time. It all kind of came together. And then when I was in college, there was a short stint of my time where I worked at a Starbucks. Very embarrassing to say. I worked at a Starbucks in San Francisco for I think it was like a total of 7 or 8 months, and I hated it. Honestly, after I left, I was like, what the time I spent there was not worth the money I got at all. It was better to just have the time for myself to work on things on my own and not get paid, and also work more on schoolwork than to go to work and then have to come home and then go to school and so yeah, that didn't last very long. And then I was in New Media program, and I learned about web design because I also, at the time, Dreamweaver was around, which was an old Adobe product. And then that led me into learning more about other programs and then learning about WordPress. So a year out of college, I had 3 website jobs on my own, like clients. First time I had like web clients. and I was like intimidated. I didn't know what to do. So I ran to a friend who was running a production company at the time, and they had a person who did web there. So I asked for their advice, and they're like, "Oh, you can come and work on those projects here, you know." So I started working on them there, and then days turned to weeks, turned to months, turned to me having being a part of that company that eventually turned into a video production company, and we stopped doing web altogether. Um, all that stuff happened at the same time. I was in college, and I was also shooting stills and video, also doing web stuff. And as my interest peaked more towards video, I was already at this production company, and they had seen all the photos and things I was shooting and posting all the time, every day. So they started bringing me on video projects, and then I just kind of went that way, and I never looked back at the web stuff. So um, it was all kind of just like being at the right place at the right time, I guess. Except for that Starbucks stint, that was a bad place. Let's see. Tintaris, appreciate you, man. He's saying he loves the work. Keep it up. Wish you all the best. Criseyala16, what are your favorite kind of house plants? Man, I don't know the name of this plant. I think it's an elephant ear. I don't know. They're all pretty trendy nowadays. My girlfriend has a bunch of plants in the house now. We also have a couple, I think they're called fiddle leaf plants, big tree things in the windows. Those are nice. Yeah, those are my favorite. Those like elephant ear things. All right. Let me go back to the live stream. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Jock. Welcome. Jock Parasine. Welcome to the team. We got a new, somebody new joined the channel. Appreciate you, man. Go ahead and drop your questions in there if you have some. I'm going to go back to, I think that's it, man. I think that's all the questions. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Adam's got a question here. Adam's saying, do you have any advice for anyone thinking of becoming a full-time creative freelancer? Yeah, I would say don't wait. Don't wait until wait. Don't wait till tomorrow. Like start now. Like even when you have a job, even when your time is shared with something else, because I think it's easier to work on yourself and your own vision when you have some financial stability on the side. I find that as soon as you don't have that financial stability, all kinds of issues could happen to your personal work. You might start cutting corners just to make a couple bucks. You could, there's like pressure to try to make, ends meet. And if you don't have that totally set up yet and it's not bubbling yet, it could really derail the whole process. So I think it's important to have some kind of something that's going to at least pay for your monthly bills and a little bit of food. At the very bare minimum, you need to have, at least your rent and those things covered. And then while you have that job, you should be you should be giving yourself time, you know, to work on that other thing, your own thing. Um, I can only talk about my process and my experience. That's kind of how it happened for me, and I'm not there yet. Like, if I could do this YouTube thing full time, I would try, but I don't have. It's financially, it's not going to take care of me day to day. So, um, I am still going to, work on other projects. I guess the one benefit to my situation is that working on a video for YouTube and working on a video for a client isn't a huge jump, you know what I mean? Whereas, it's not like I'm still working at, if I was working at a coffee shop and then having to do video work, it would be, harder to change gears, I think. But um, just you only got 24 hours in a day, so you got like a lot time for everything, and I think you should do it while you're bringing in money on the side. That's my main advice. George loves dirt. George loves dirt. Just dropped in $1.99. Thank you, George. He's writing in all. First of all, he doesn't have an image. It's a purple icon avatar, and it says in all caps, lots of question marks, "Are you ever going to ride BMX with me?" Yes, I will ride BMX with you. You got to come out on your bike. I don't think I've ever seen George Loves Dirt on a bicycle ever. So as soon as you prove to me that you can ride a bicycle, I'll come ride with you any day of the week. We love George Loves Dirt here at the Terry Berenson YouTube channel. My advice to George Loves Dirt would be to make some time to ride your bike. Take a couple hours out of that Fortnite career you got popping off and put a couple hours into the ride your bike slot. And we can do that. So yeah, well, I guess we can wrap this up. And I'm going to open the chat up to everybody here as I let this go. So if you guys are still here, the chat is open now. I'm going to, I don't know, I guess I can just talk about a couple of things. I was speaking on yesterday's video where I was adding in video, watching videos, playbacks. I really would like you guys to, send me some videos when I do a live stream again in the future. I have a couple hardware pieces that are supposed to show up today, actually, where I could actually plug in, another video source, and we can do that whole thing I did yesterday where I watch videos and we can talk about it. So yeah, other than that, I hope you like the new picture format. Hopefully it looks good on your end. It looks okay on this monitor here, but I can't really tell on the live stream. It looks like it's a little compressed. Appreciate you guys tuning into the live stream. Oh, what did I have to talk? I do have something I need to say. It's more merchandise related. So all the merch, all the t-shirts that are posted under the video, where I have those, you know, the OG Hotline script and the Ride the Wave Hotline shirt. There's like new shirts once a week. We're trying to design a new shirt down there. So those help the channel a lot. If you don't want to join, or if you just see something, that'll help support us over here. The one thing I want to say is I'm going to send out this code, and it starts this Thursday to Sunday. So Thursday at midnight, which is tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, till Sunday at midnight on the 19th. Here, let me type this in. It's a promo code, and it's 10% off anything in the store. Teespring sent this over to me because since we've been making all of the new shirts and everything, there's like goals on there, and we hit one of our goals, so we have 10% off. Let me see. Give me a quick sec while I pull this up. I'm just going to copy and paste this into there. This week, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Wait, what? Why didn't it copy all of that? Oh, there we go. All right. I'll also put the Teespring link to my store in there. Another thing about the Teespring thing is I have, oops, there we go. So it's all linked down there. I don't own, what's up, Tony? Stone Tone in the house. Tone, I don't own those, people have asked before. I don't own the shirts. Not that I don't own them. I don't have them here. Like, I don't distribute them myself. Someone else takes care of that for me. So I don't even have access to my own stuff. So I would just hand you people a shirt on the street if I had them, but I don't. All I have is the stickers and the prints myself. So maybe if I get a few, I should have a few here at the studio, but I have to order them myself, and then they have to come here. But let me get to the next topic on this Teespring thing. So we have 10% off from Thursday night to Sunday night, and that starts tonight at 12. It's 10% off, which is, whatever. It's 10%. It's cool. Teespring is taking care of that. Next week, we just hit this other milestone, and there's actually a free merch giveaway. So as soon as I have that, I think they're giving out a free item from the store. So I think you might have to give them your email or something. I'm not sure is exactly what they need to be picked for that free handout, but I'll let you guys know once I do. I know that's going to be next week though. So, and that's because you guys have been supporting the store. We've hit a couple milestones. So now we have, these things that they're giving back to us or you guys. So appreciate it. Other than that, I think that's it. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the Cunningham mountain bike videos. I dropped one yesterday and then the second half of it this morning. So It was our buddy Amir's birthday last Saturday, so we rode Cunningham, and we knew that it was gonna snow, so we kind of dressed extra warm for it. It was definitely cold that day, but it was pretty surreal to ride Cunningham, and you can see the ground's all brown, and then as it starts to snow, it's oh, someone's here. Give me a second. The ground turns white. It's pretty rad. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you. Yeah, this is gonna just turn into all kinds of videos here. All right, I just got my the new piece I need for this whole live stream setup to really step up the you know, the thing, so we can start adding different cameras and different I can add in YouTube videos and watch them live with you like we did yesterday. It's in this box. Should I open this? Do you guys care about this, or should I just let you guys go? What do you think? What do you think? I'm gonna open it. Fuck it. Give me a quick sec. I need to get a knife. All right. This is gonna be yes, this is an unboxing vid. This is what they do, right? Here's a knife. So here in New York, we're blessed to have B&H so close. So when you order stuff, it comes pretty quick. Although I ordered this piece like a long while ago, and it's a Blackmagic. If you guys are open with if you guys are aware of Blackmagic, I'm shooting this. This is a Blackmagic camera shooting this right now. They were a software company turned hardware company turned camera company, and they make pretty good stuff. They're out of Australia. So this here is what is going to change it up for me. This is the ATEM Mini. And basically what all this thing is it takes 4 different HDMI inputs, and it spits out one camera to your computer, so then you can live stream it. The way this thing is going to help for me is it takes all the guesswork and all the complicated things out of using a bunch of cameras, and just it does all the work for you in here, and then it spits it to your camera. So basically I can have a Sony that shoots a certain frame rate, a certain thing. This camera, they all shoot differently. And this thing will take all those signals, and just whatever button I select, it'll just say, boom, it's a webcam, and my computer will be okay with it, and it'll work. So this is the next step. So really looking forward to this thing. Let's see. Wow. Look at this. They always give you a free DaVinci Resolve download. They make DaVinci Resolve, so that's their main thing. Look at this. Look at this little guy. That's all it is. It's so cute, right? It's just wow, it's cold. It's cold outside. So this is just gonna sit on my desk, kind of like a drum pad. Camera 1, camera 2, 3, and 4. Also, I can load graphics into these here if I wanted to. It's got picture in picture, transitions, cuts, FTBs. It's here's Jason here. Ooh, he brought all the snacks. Yeah, so I'm gonna set the thing up and then maybe test it out. Maybe I'll jump back on a little bit, but I should cut this stream for now and give this thing a try because I'm excited. Thank you for staying for the unboxing, and appreciate all the questions over at Reddit. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next upload. Thank you.